Hello, everyone. Oops, shoot, hit the wrong button. We're having a heck of a night. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Hardcore Metal Detecting Radio Show. I'm Derek Asklar, and Mr. Craig Talley's trying to call in if I would quit hanging up on him. So he'll be calling back in, and we'll be hosting the show tonight. Kind of going to have, there he is. All right, I think I got it figured out, Craig. Hey, are you there, Craig? All right. I totally butchered that whole startup, but oh, we're just getting started tonight. We're going to have open lines tonight. If you want to call in with a topic that you want to talk about as far as metal detecting, privy digging, gold prospecting, what have you, you can give us a call at 352-504-4170. And, we'll kind of break in right there and start on that. But, yeah, just crazy. I just literally rolled in the door and went to start up the computer, and Craig tried to call, and man, everything was going chaotic, so I had to restart everything. So sorry, a few minutes late tonight. But Craig, how are you doing today? Because we haven't even had a chance to talk yet. Oh man, what, it leaked through the side of the wall, or just? Oh, holy cow, dude! That's a lot of rain for your area. Yeah, man, right. Yeah, you're not going to stop that. Yeah. That's all. Oh no, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Cold showers suck. I yeah. Right. Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, come down in buckets, brother. Come down in buckets. Oh, yeah, no doubt. It's been a crazy week for us. I don't know. We went to the convention last weekend, VFW auxiliary, VFW and post and auxiliary convention there in Orlando, and it went great. It was awesome. And it was nice to meet a lot of the people that we talked to last year and stuff. And well, we got back to the post on Sunday and stopped in there just to hang out for a little bit with some of the other people. And I got a phone call from my daughter, and she wanted to talk. I'm like, well, everything okay? Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you. And I'm like, all right. But I got to get out of here and get back to the house, and I'll call you around 5 o'clock, because it was like 4 o'clock when I was on the phone with her. I go in there and sit down and everything. Told Pauline, she called, and we're sitting down, just at the end of the bar talking to the quartermaster, and somebody walks through the door, and it's we always turn around and acknowledge somebody's there and welcome them to the post and everything. I turned around and I looked, just said, "Well, how you doing? Welcome to the post." And I looked back and I looked back again, and guess who was standing there? My daughter and my son-in-law. It floored me. We haven't seen them in a year and a half. They live up by Craig, up in Virginia. Totally floored us. Um, uh, you haven't seen your kids. And it's nice to put your eyes on your kids. Make sure they're okay. You could talk to them on the phone and everything. Well, that made our day. It was a good weekend, and well, he's down here. We knew he was coming down before Friday because he's getting his walking the college there. He got a master's in finished up his master's for computer technology or computer intelligence, something like that. It's a high, I don't know. Uh, I don't know a lot about computers, so anyways, it's up there a little ways. But we knew he was coming down for his graduation on Friday, and we figured he'd get here, today, because they both work and everything, and also go to school. So, but yeah, it was nice. It was a very, very nice surprise, and we got to hang out this week and everything. And with my schedule, anyways, Craig, you know how crazy my schedule is already. But we made some time, and we hit the gun range today because they wanted to hit the gun range and stuff like that. So I literally just rolled in about 10 minutes before you called me, Craig, and then everything went haywire with the computer and stuff. But I did get out doing some detecting a little bit this week, and actually I hit a silver quarter, believe it or not, right back there in that pasture back behind my place, and it was a 61. I mean, it's not old, but I mean, it's literally been like 90. I'm gonna say 96 degrees most days, and we have a heat index. Well, at least the one day it was pushing 105, and I'm in direct sunlight. So I mean, it just beating me to death, and uh, you get to that point where it's you don't want to get too hot. You don't want to have heat stroke or something like that. It's so humid and stuff down here, and between that and trying to do some other stuff there outside, man, I tell you, it's been a miserable June as far as heat goes. Usually we don't get this until July, August. But yeah, it's been these freak storms and stuff coming through. But it sounds like you got a heck of a lot more rain than we did. We probably got about a couple inches in the last few days, but you got eight. You said 8.5 inches. Is what they said up there? Oh my God. Phew. Mhm. Right. Oh yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's right. Yes, I just, I try to get out there, man. It's been a busy week, a good week, but I'll take all the good times I can get. Put my eyes on my kid. Can't, replace that with anything. Just making sure, being able to see him. I talk to her probably every day on the phone, anyways. But it was nice to put my eyes on her and make sure she's doing okay. And he got a, he's, well, he works for Best Buy, anyways. But uh, I guess he's trying to get into the corporate over in Minnesota, and I don't know. They're looking at him pretty hard. So I mean, that's a good move up for him. And kid's 26 years old and doing really good. So, but Best Buy paid for the college, for his master's degree, or at least half of it, or something like that. So, yeah, he's doing real good. I got out. I think it was out for like 2 hours, something like that. But I found that, and I found some other stuff. I'm not sure what the heck it is. It's brass. It looks maybe like a Rouge, the old Rouge containers from the 20s, but it's beat up so bad. I found one of those to kind of clean it up some more and see if there's any kind of detail on it. Um, just the normal kind of junk stuff, pieces of copper pipe and stuff. And I didn't take the bliss tool. I grabbed the Quest 40 and just ran out there real fast, and pretty much got beat to death with the heat. So, I'm standing out in the middle of a pasture. Then it wants to start raining and stuff, and the thunder. I don't really worry about the rain so much. It's more or less the lightning. They've actually had several people struck down here just walking out their door and stuff. Is weird. Um, we knew a guy that was walking down the street trying to get to his house because it was raining. He was out for a walk and got struck over there in Largo last year or the year before last. So you got to be careful of that lightning down here. You know, I don't want to be out there fishing and golfing in the thunderstorm, put it that way, or metal detecting at that. So, but I'm in my office tonight, and I was kind of looking at some of these books anyways right now. I got all these from well, somebody was moving and they just wanted to they didn't want to haul all these books up here, and I went through them, Craig, and I actually got some good ones here. I got a Russ A. Pritchard, the Civil War Guide and stuff. And matter of fact, here's my daughter right now. You guys taking off?
Yeah, we're taking
All right,
off.
Sweetie. I'll
Love
see you guys in
Daddy.
the morning.
See you later, Z.
All right, catch you later. You're live on the radio, by the way.
Hey, everyone.
Bye,
All right, y'all be careful. Love you. All right. Anyway, but no, I got these books, and I started going through them, but it's like, actually, I got one here. It's a Civil War Battle Guide. I got this 3-pack hardbound books in a case, like, or I guess you slide all 3 volumes in about the Civil War. Let's see here. I got a lot of different books. I get these things and I'll go through them, and I know Mark Hoover does this also. We just kind of look around for Civil War books, Revolutionary War books, and stuff like that. But you find a lot of interesting stories sometimes in them and stuff like that. Jeff Shara's Civil War Battle Guide, or Civil War Battlefields, Discovering America's Hallowed Ground. American Civil War Places, Ideal Guide. And they're all brand, I mean, they're almost brand new. The guy went through them. He said he read every single one of them, but he kept the books really nice. Another one here from the American Heritage Picture History of the Civil War, hardbound. These are all hardbound editions. David McCombs, I can't pronounce the last name, but it's winner of the Pulitzer Prize. The book is 1776 illustrated edition. Just a lot of good little books. I even have some stuff here from the Iron, or I don't know, with the over in England. The wars they had over there. Way back. I even have a Civil War cookbook. A Civil War cookbook, no doubt. Yeah, unique collection of traditional recipes and anecdotes from the Civil War period. I just, gain it. Let's see here, Kane at Gettysburg, and the Civil War. Well, they have one here of Civil War pictures, and it's just nothing but a book of pictures from the Civil War, mostly hand drawn. It looks like, but yeah, you never know what you're going to find in these books. You might, live in one of these areas, and it may talk about a certain area in your state or town or something like that, and you just never know what kind of information you come across on them. So I like to go through them and everything. And, sometimes I just give them to friends and stuff. I know Mark does that too. He kind of donates them for raffles and stuff like that. But he's given me a lot of books, commanders of the Civil War and the fighting men of the Civil War. I like all that information. Craig, I know you've probably over the years have collected a lot of books too about the Civil War and information, maps and everything. There's one in here that actually has maps in it. You fold them out and everything. I don't see that one right in front of me right now. Mm-hmm. Huh. This one from the the one that says 1776, I guess is the name of the book, actually has what looks like, they made them look like envelopes, and they actually have tabs on them, and I'm pulling one out right now. They look like old letters. I mean, they've been reproduced, but I mean, we're talking a lot of information. I actually need a photograph. This is a map right here, this unfolding right now, and they've made them look really old or whatever. They're probably copies, but I just think that's really neat. The whole book is full of, there's at least 12 or 13 of these envelopes in here with Um, let's see here, Alpanan of Boston, his majestic army. It's actually a battlefield map that's been reproduced. I'll definitely have to go through this one. Yeah, it just, sometimes you come across these old ones and they'll have, other information in there that's really not well known, depending on who the author is and stuff like that. These aren't real old. I think this one is, very good condition. That's why it's hard to tell. I'm trying to see here. David McAuliffe. God, I'm horrible with names. But yeah, they probably put this all together. But it's about the Revolutionary War and some of the documents and stuff that were signed. I'm sure there's one in here for the Declaration of Independence and stuff like that. I'm sure it's in this book. I'll definitely have to put these online, Craig, or put them on take a photo of the books. Anyways, maybe if somebody likes this kind of stuff, I'd just soon send it, some of these books out to you guys if you're interested. After I get done looking through them, very well kept, very nice, hardbound editions. Anymore it seems like everything you buy now is all paperback, So, if you're into collecting books, but. Yeah, it's just trying to find the time to look through the stuff. That's what really gets me sometimes. I just feel like I'm going 100 mile an hour in a 20 mile an hour zone, So, so you haven't been out at all then. I'm the only one that got out the last couple of days. Mm-hmm.
And stuff, but
oh, you're finally on the radio. I had you on mute, Craig. I'm sorry about that, brother. I literally had you muted. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm totally out of it today. I hit the wrong button. So, Craig, you're now live on the show. I'm talking to my dang self.
oh, man.
Hurry up and say something so they don't think I'm a lunatic.
Well, they can hear me laughing, probably. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll recap for you guys real quick. Craig's basement got flooded. They got 8.5 inches of rain. He survived that. So that's pretty much in that. We were talking about the books, but sorry, guys, just one of those days. But we can laugh about it.
A month and a half of rain, and I thought I was living in India in the monsoon season.
Yeah, it sounds like. Yeah.
But anyway, I guess 2 days ago we had, like partial clearing for most of the day. It was enough to go out and hunt. And, I got signal right going through the gate, and I thought, man, I've hunted through here a bunch of times, but they had so much rain, maybe it soaked down. But I got a wheat penny about 9 inches deep, but there was a nail right on top of it.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But nowadays, when I find something like that, I just turn the machine off, and because it's starting to get slowed down a lot. Some days we go out there and we don't find anything.
Right.
I think it was yesterday I found, I thought it was an iron butt cap down about a foot deep. Turned out just to be an angled piece of, metal. But iron. But you never know.
Well, yeah, if that's something that deep, Craig, I mean, God, there could be coins down there too. I mean, it probably is. I mean, if it sounds like that ground got turned or something. You said it's real black. It's like they filled it in, or what brought stuff in to build it up a little bit, maybe.
Well, like the front yard isn't, but the backyard is just got this black dirt in it, and it. I don't know. I dug stuff down 2 feet deep in the ground. I got this one thing, and I finally found out it was a kind of like a off a stove, like the made out of cast iron.
Yeah, the wood burning stoves, like.
But I was sure it had kind of a little bit of a rounded part on it when I, got down that, where I could feel it, and I thought, man, it's probably an artillery shell, because.
Yeah.
We found 2 pieces of artillery shells in the yard. Well, with a Borman cannonball and a shingle shell fragment. Pretty good size one, but it's got to be more. I mean, that's just 2. and that thing must have blown up in the yard somewhere,
Right.
you know. So unless somebody else has dug this yard before, I imagine somebody has, you know, had in the old days, but who knows?
Yeah.
We were driving down the street the other day and saw two guy and a girl in a yard right across from the battlefield, metal detecting the yard.
Mm-hmm.
I came back. I went to the store and I came back about 15 minutes later, and they were getting in their vehicle and taking off. And it was about 11 o'clock in the morning. So,
Yeah.
but one of them had a Garrett. I couldn't tell what model it was, but I could see Garrett, you know, on the side.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
any Pro or anything like that, and it wasn't a yellow one. It was an older one.
The old greenies. I call them the green ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know, they still find stuff. I mean, they're not, you know, it's not, you know, you're going to get out there and find something. You know, it may not be the treasure
Yeah.
you want, but heck, every metal detector will find you something. You know, it just, you know, as you progress with them, it's more or less classifications of detectors. We always say upper, lower, mid-range, you know, as far as price goes, but it's almost like levels now of detector, you know, like, you know, the first level is more or less your beginning detectors, and then, you know, mid-level or, you know, like your AT Pros and, you know, in that range anyways. And then you got the upper mids, which is like the Equinox, the Quest, you know, Quest Pro, and, you know, then you get your upper level of CTXs and the Deus and all that stuff. So we kind of go by price range, but that doesn't even seem to be a factor anymore. They're able to produce these things, and some of these detectors, these new ones coming out, I mean, they're not as expensive as they probably should be. I'm glad they lowered the price on them, to be honest with you, Craig, because some of this stuff was getting, you know, way up there, and for a beginner, they can actually start off almost in a mid-range detector now, you know, and not cost them a small fortune. So that's kind of nice. So they can actually get a better one. Yeah, I got. I was actually going to send one of the detectors down to Key West, or some of our friends were heading down to Key West, but they weren't going to have time to really metal detect. They had some, you know, family stuff to do down there and everything. So I was going to say, well, you could take one of these detectors down there and see what you find in Key West, you know. But he hadn't really used it. I figured he'd be on the dry sand or what have you. But he's going to try to get back down there. I said, well, I'll send one down or send a bliss tool down with them and let them play. They're good friends of ours. But just, you know, get started. He showed an interest in it. Matter of fact, Saturday I'm supposed to go hunt that, you know, that property where the bridge is. I don't know how much hunting I'm going to get done because the owner actually wants to learn how to metal detect. And he's been looking at them. He just didn't know which one to buy. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time with him, helping him out a little bit. But I'll try to get some video and stuff. And, you know, hopefully we can get right on some stuff so that I can kind of let him just run wild, you know, once I show him how to use the machine a little bit. See what we find, man. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a hot son of a gun out there, but I never seem to get good, you know, like when you first go on a spot, it's always like in the middle of the summer down here. You know, I like the fall and the winter, obviously, because it's a little cooler, but, you know, it's kind of shaded where we're going to be hunting at until we get out into the pastures and stuff like that. That's when it's really going to get smoking hot, but getting that direct sun. So I'm hoping to get out there, you know, multiple times. It's going to take me forever to metal detect this area, which is a good problem to have. They've actually torn down all the buildings around the courthouse now, down here, and I don't know what they're going to put in. They took down the fences, Craig, and I'm halfway thinking about running over there and just putting the coil to the ground a little bit, because these buildings that were there was like an old service station, real old, and they turned it into this and that over the years, and they just leveled all the buildings. But I'm just afraid I'm going to get into a bunch of junk metal and nails and everything else. So we'll see how it goes. But definitely just to put a coil there, it'd be great. But yeah, 3 more of the places that I used to hunt are gone. So guys, get out there. If you have a chance to hunt a spot, hunt the crap out of it if it's good, because you never know what they're going to build over it. Craig has it happen all the time. You know, places he hunted, now there's shopping centers in them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, man, that's about what I've been up to. I mean, sorry about the recap show on Saturday night. That Man, I tell you, there was so many people there, and I couldn't get a good, real steady signal. But as far as Skype goes, and then mine was cutting out. But I did the archive show, and I think it came out okay. I can't remember which one I put up there now, but it looked like it. People liked it anyways, so that was a good thing. Just trying to cram. Life has just been busy. I hate it. I told Pauline I'm going to take a month off and do nothing but metal because I need to catch up. Because you lose your edge, you really do. If you don't do it for a while, you had to get your ears tuned in again and everything. And it's been. Well, I didn't have much problem out there, but I mean, it's just you get a system going or a way you do it, and it's almost like if you don't do it for a month or so, you're kind of like backtracking a little bit. At least that's the way I feel anyway. Getting back into the groove, so to speak. So I'm gonna try to get out there. And they're actually with the Quest Pro. There's a firmware update coming up, or not firmware. They're rewriting or redoing the the beach mode in that machine, and it's something you're going to be able to do like the Deus and upload it or whatever. Get to the changes over the computer, supposedly. I didn't have much problem with it.
Are they going to do it just on a Mac or a PC?
I'm not sure yet. I just talked to Evan the other day, and he said they said they were going to beef up the beach mode, so to speak, and it's supposed to be a little bit, a lot more stable or whatever. I mean, they're going for more depth, I think, but to make it stable in that wet salt sand. It did really good for me. I didn't have much problem. But then you deal with different beaches have different salt content almost, or whatever the reaction. Sometimes when you go to the east coast of Florida, obviously that's ocean, and we deal on the west side with the Gulf of Mexico. And I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more black sand and brown sand, mineralized sand coming in on the east coast, and sometimes you can see it. When the waves come in and stuff, you can see the little lines of black and stuff like that. I don't usually see those on the west coast of Florida very much, or maybe I just haven't been out there to see it. But different animals, so to speak. So trying to get used to that. I see Jason. Jason's on tonight. Welcome him on chat right there. I was kind of wondering if chat was working. I had to restart everything just before the show, guys, and then I might have hit the wrong button. Of course, Craig was on there for a few minutes without anybody hearing him, so I was like talking to myself. So I'm getting my stuff together here and getting it done right. I don't even know what day it is half the time. I knew today is Thursday, obviously, but if it, playing catch up, running back and forth, I'm putting a sound system in for the post, for music and a whole 9 yards. So it's all Bluetooth and stuff like that. So I do a lot of different things, trying to help out or this or that, and so that's taken up several days too. My son-in-law actually helped me on that. He's working. I actually told him that Craig Talley said that you really need to step it up at Best Buy and really do a lot of sales because he has money invested in your company. He's looking for good dividends at the end of the year, so you need to step it up a little bit.
Well, I have to tell you, Best Buy has been good.
Yeah.
I've got Best Buy, Apple, and Amazon, and Amazon's like doubled, over doubled what I paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. It was down in the 800s range, and I was saying it's going to get 1,000 easy.
Right.
And I think it's gone as high as 1,700.
Wow.
For one share of stock.
Yeah, dude.
You
do it to it.
Buying a share of stock for over $1,000. It was hard enough for me to, pay 800, but
yeah.
I made some pretty good money off that stock.
God bless you, man.
Apple's always been rock solid.
Yeah.
They go up and down, but you you have like market sell-offs and stuff, but
right.
Apple is
hanging in there.
I've actually doubled on that stock too.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's
crazy.
something I never really got into.
The stock market is just taken off in the last year, and it started taking off 2 years ago actually.
Right. Yeah, he's actually. He said they were like 24th highest sales in the corporation in the whole U.S. and Canada and Mexico. His store was. He did over 1.5 million sales or something like that his first year himself. So the kid's really really stepped up. He found his niche, so to speak. Everybody's good at something, and he's excelled in this. So I'm very proud of him. Kai.
When I was looking into getting some, some stock, one of the things some investor was saying, you ever go to stores and you see a really nice store that you really you like the store,
right?
That's kind of the store you might want to look in to buy stock in.
Oh, exactly.
So I started thinking, I was thinking, well, I'm already going to get Apple, Apple store is really fun to go to. But
right.
Best Buy is almost better because it has all the Apple stuff, but then it has everybody else's stuff too.
Right.
You ought to see all the drones and stuff they got in there.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
All kinds of cell phones, camera equipment, and it's just unbelievable how much stuff they got in there.
I like it.
And they got some really knowledgeable people. They got the Geek Squad.
Yeah.
I've had like 2 problems, and they took care of it right away.
Well,
it's also one of those retail stores that's going to be around because people want to be able to. They don't want to have to order like say your cell phone goes blows up and you can't use it.
Right.
You don't want to wait and buy it online.
Yeah.
And take a week or a couple days even. You want to right that minute almost. You want to go out and get it. So you can go to a Best Buy, the nearest one near you, and pick up a phone.
How many times, just getting into this a little bit as far as cell phones go, how many times has you haven't had it happen, Craig. I've had it happen many times where your cell phone starts screwing up really bad and, you can take it into your, company A and take it in there and, it's broken and, here we have another one here you can buy. It's an upgrade and all this stuff. And that gets on people's nerves after a while. I had a lady at the post that her phone was messing up really bad. She bought it at Best Buy about a year ago and takes it in there. And she said, nobody can hear me when I talk and it's not the settings or anything. So they actually opened up the cell phone. I guess they had a tech there and it was actually a manufacturer defect or whatever in it or something like that. And Best Buy just said, all right, well, you bought it here. You have the plan. Here's a new cell phone. We switched everything over for you. All your contacts and stuff like that. Have a nice day. No questions that they never, it was just an easy thing to do. And we've had it happen with printers and stuff. And Best Buy's always been, on top. It is, at least for us. I mean, we've never had a problem. And, I buy stuff on my own. I don't, go through my son-in-law very often because he lives in Virginia. But he, they have a very, very good customer service, and they stand by their warranties, and that's a great thing. They don't try to upsell you. They don't try to, even the phones. I mean, she was trying to buy a Boost phone or something like that, and it was like I'll say $160. She goes to Best Buy and it was $120, and she gets the warranty and everything with it. So you can find a Best Buy just about anywhere, it seems like. But be able to take it there and get it all taken care of and not have the headache of ordering it or waiting on it or having to upgrade and spend a bunch of money on something that you already spent money on, that makes sense to me anyways. So, yeah, they've been a good store for us. So, and Craig, you're making money.
Yeah, I got my iPhone 10 there. They don't have it anymore. They got rid of it, but they had a Best Buy Mobile.
Right.
And it was like a little smaller store, like in a mall, you have like the smaller little stores, and they had this. I think they had maybe 2 people working in there, and I just went in there, just to see, what the availability was, because I was thinking it was going to be about a month and a half, 2 months, and I ended up getting it in a week and a half.
Right.
And it was a week. Actually, they called me. They said it was going to be a week and a half. Then I got an email that it was going to be only a week.
Right.
And so I picked it up. I went up there and got it from the store in Winchester, and a guy put the screen on for me for free. They usually charge $7 for it, and I got a case, and he showed me all the chargers, and there wasn't a whole lot of people in there, so I, plus I was a paying customer.
Yeah, yeah. That always helps.
So, but I mean, the guy, he was a cool guy, young guy, and he knew all about all this stuff, and everything worked, fine. It was pretty cool. I like just talking to some of these guys, and asking them questions about new products and stuff, because they know what's going on.
Oh yeah, it's like my son-in-law. Man, I just need to ask him. He pretty much knows it. That he works in with vendors and stuff like that too. So he's always up on what is the best. If you're looking for a particular item, which one's the best? Which one has the best rating? Which one's going to be, is going to be more durable than the other? He's really knowledgeable about not only computers, but the stuff that he obviously, they have to sell and stuff in there. And it's like he told me, he says, I'm not going to recommend anything to anybody that I wouldn't buy myself. And that's the way he's always done it. But he likes it because there's not a sales commission. These guys don't make any more money selling something to you than they do if they don't sell something to you. You know what I mean? So there's not that pressure like, oh, they want to upsell you, to get more commission money. And I like that. They just promote. It's kind of like.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing I like, and it's really, it jumps out at me every time I go to the store, is somebody comes up to you immediately.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're not there 30 seconds or a minute, and somebody's asking you if you need help.
And they're right with you,
I've
too.
been in the store, and then within probably 8 or 9 minutes, I've been approached like 5 times.
Yeah, yeah.
If I need any help,
And that's what
usually what I do when I go in the store. I just wander around looking first. The one up here in Winchester is kind of small, but
right.
The ones in Northern Virginia are mega stores. I mean, they're like, God, they're
huge.
bigger than grocery stores.
Right.
They're huge. It's just packed full of stuff. It's just fun just walking around and looking at all and playing around with they got like all the computers out, all the Apple stuff you can play around with.
Well, I've seen it even at other stores, Craig. I mean, it's sometimes very hard. Well, I don't even have to mention Walmart and stuff because I can't ever get any help, and they're not really wanting it anyway. But I've gone in. We were redoing a house, and buying cabinets and stuff for the houses several years ago. But I mean, you know how much that stuff costs. It's expensive. But I go in there looking to buy a full kitchen, cabinets, the whole 9 yards, and I couldn't get any help at the first lumber yard, I'll call it, at all. And then when they do send somebody to me, it's an 18-year-old kid. And he knew, I knew right then. I mean, he knew it too. He goes, well, I really don't know anything about cabinets or anything. I'm just trying to help you. And I said, that's okay. And I saw, the manager come by, and they didn't have anybody in the aisleways or nothing. I mean, there was like, I don't know what was going on. So I went over to Lowe's, and I got treated just like I did at Best Buy. I had people when I walked in the door and down the aisles always stopping and asking me, and they don't make any, I don't think they make any commission. Now, maybe they do, but I mean, back then they didn't make any commission. They were just doing their job and had the best help and everything. And that's why I started shopping at Lowe's all the time, because I never had a problem getting, advice or, help with finding products. That means everything, especially when you're going to a store. I mean, it's not like the internet where you can kind of micro, organize and everything what you're looking for. You can actually, go in there and somebody can help you out with the computer part of it and everything and how you want it set up. But that's kind of like, Best Buy. They, I guess it's turned out to be a promotional for Best Buy, but hey, they're good, so I'm going to talk about it. So you share the information, man. That's how we get it around. But
yeah, I got my drone there too.
Yeah, I got mine there too. Yeah.
I've gotten iPads, I've gotten iPhones, Apple TV, 2 Samsung TVs. Man, I've gotten a bunch of stuff from them. I got a Dyson vacuum cleaner.
Oh, you in high class, brother. The Dysons.
Yeah.
I'm still using.
what
I'm
else?
still using a Bissell or whatever the heck it is. I don't know what that Hoover like.
Yeah, I have a Dyson fan that's got cold and hot on it.
Oh, I don't need the hot at all. Got plenty of that down here. No, it's nice to have a company around that or a store or something I don't mind going into, because I'm notorious for, hey, if I need, like, I go into Wally World or whatever, I'm going to buy a pair of jeans. I go in, buy my pair of jeans, and get out. I don't look around. I really, I'm one of those kind of shoppers. I know what I want. And I want to get in and out of there. I don't like to hang out and go shopping like Pauline or anything like that. She likes to go and look at everything, but. So, it's nice to go have a place you like to go to and look around. And that Best Buy is one of the ones for me. That or a metal detecting store or something like that. I mean, it's on the same level because they have cool stuff, So, but those drones they have are wicked. I mean, I don't even know what kind they are, but the big black, I think it's a 6 prop or something. It's a huge drone. It's probably on the same.
Yeah, they got the Yuka.
Yeah.
Like that. And then they got the DJI Inspire, I think 1 and 2.
What's the one they use for cinematic? The cinematic guys use when they're doing like
the
movies.
Inspires.
Oh, okay.
Most of those are about 80 to 90% of the drones, that are being used are DJI.
Oh, okay.
They call them the Apple of drones.
Right.
They dominate the market with the quality and the price range. They hit all these price ranges, and whenever anybody enters a certain price range, they come out. They already have all these drones they've already developed, but nobody knows anything about them but them.
Right.
And they're in different price ranges. And whenever anybody hits a price range trying to compete with them, they blow them out of the water.
Yeah.
That's how they work. It's kind of predatory, but that's the way it is.
That's giving the people what they want. They want something better for better money. That's a good business right there. That's why
they just bought a Swiss camera company, Hasselblad or something like that, for $1 billion.
Wow.
So they're going to incorporate all the, it's just not just the drone. They're into, they got the superior gimbals and,
right.
To keep everything, without it wobbling and stuff. It's amazing. I mean, you watch these. I watch a lot of drone stuff, and I got a lot of drone followers on.
Right. Well, we use them. We do. In the hobby, we use them. I just haven't gotten mine out. I just haven't had time to do it, and I don't want to get out there and rush or nothing. But a lot of the guys are using drones. I see a lot of videos with the guys, using them, going over their, sites and stuff like that, or just investigating, or taking footage too. I mean, they're very versatile. They fit right into the hobby, in that aspect of it. Because one guy was saying, well, this one will only go 1.5 miles away. I said, to be honest with you, I'm probably not going to go more than 1 mile up. You know what I mean, or whatever. I'm not even going to go that far, but we're pretty close. But
you can't go. This one will go. The one we got 1.2 miles.
Right. Right.
In the sport mode, there's 2 different modes, I think.
Yeah.
But
see, I'm never going to do that part of it.
And then you're not supposed to exceed 400 feet.
Right.
Up. So, other than that, you pretty much can do anything you want. It's they don't want you flying, trying to look in people's windows and stuff. But
yeah, well, you already had that instance of that over there.
The drone. I mean, the stealth diggers are going to end up buying a drone because they're going to they're always looking for these cellar holes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, they should, because
It's like
I think
this-
it'd be helpful for them. I mean, just to locate or get. Sometimes you get a better view of the lay of the land and from the sky. I mean, you can see the, different the way the ground is, or maybe the stuff you wouldn't see at ground level. You can get an aerial view, and it really does help. Sometimes you could find old paths, maybe old foundations and stuff like that. And you don't have to walk a half a mile to see them. You could just fly the drone over there, if possible, unless you're in the woods or something. But it gives you it saves you time. You can do a little bit of reconnaissance kind of thing, before you go out there. And don't worry about me, guys. I'm knocking stuff over again. Anyway, but yeah, they do help out.
You can see stuff from the air that you can't see, when you're standing right on the spot. It's like where I used to live. You could see the outline of Fort Ellsworth from the air.
Right.
On Google Maps, you could see it on Google Maps.
Right.
Especially in the spring, and the trenches, there was like moats or whatever all around the fort.
Right.
Like a big ditch, and the gunpowder dropped down in there. When they were loading those cannons and stuff, and the nitrogen in there made the grass real green. And when spring comes, and you can see the difference. I mean, I've got a blueprint of the from the archives that shows that particular fort, and you can see which side it is, on the map.
Right.
It's not all there. So part of it's underneath the apartment building, and part of it's under the water company property. But it's still, you can see it. It's pretty crazy. But you wouldn't, if you were standing there, you wouldn't even. There's no sign of it. There's no sign of anything.
Right. That's technology as far as the satellite. There's a lady, and I can't remember her name or what show it was on, but she was actually looking for the Viking Trail where they went. I think it was in Greenland or something like that, and she was using not standard telemetry. She was using infrared and spectrum, kind of full spectrum research using satellites, and she can actually tell where foundations were under the ground. I don't know how to explain it other than that. She's using, I think it was not broad spectrum. Infrared, yes, but I'm talking about the ultraviolet spectrum or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's able to look at stuff and change the way that the satellite imagery looks as far as what it's seeing on the ground. And by using these different modes, she's able to pick out where a building could have been or what have you, just by saying. And they go to these places and they dig up and they try to find evidence. And usually she's very very accurate. It's almost like ground penetrating radar. People that use that, they get to know it, and they just know this little mark here looks like it's just a mark to us, but they said, no, that's where this was, or there was an imperfection. This was a burial ground. This was whatever. They're just very good at what they do with those the ground penetrating radar. I know that. Oh, what's his name? He was at the CWPPO. Frank? No. Well, Craig, you were there. He was trying to find Morgan's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank. I can't remember his last name. I'm bad about last names, but he was very proficient with that piece of equipment there, and I'm sure he spent many hours with it. But yeah, he found the actual burial site and everything of that the Confederate soldier that was in Morgan Raiders a group or whatever, and I can't remember his name now. They called him Tommy McGee, but it had a French name or something like that. So, we use a lot of this technology, but, you got to spend time with it. It's just like anything else. I'm sure there's a learning curve and everything on a lot of this stuff. But, once you get a general knowledge, man, the opportunity to use it in these situations, man, you can really be proficient with it, really have a successful hunt. And that's, a lot of people think that the ground penetrating radar is going to show you a gold coin or something like that. It's not. It's imperfections in the ground, the way the layers of the ground, the strata, whether it's been dug up before. You can look at this and tell where there was a moat or there was a old riverbed or whatever. I'm thinking it would just pretty much stand out quite a bit. whereas a metal detector, you're finding, ferrous, non-ferrous items that are not the same technology at all. I don't know what, there was a commercial like that. Remember that commercial, Craig, where, so you could actually see a, pot of gold in the ground. Well, you're seeing the outline of an imperfection is what it is, but you don't really know what it is until you dig it up, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but they...
yeah, they might have gotten better than they used to, but I saw one, right one house from me on the other field from where the fort was.
Right.
Was a quartermaster's. Well, they used it. This brick building was there, and the quartermaster had used it during the Civil War on the
right.
hill. And I have a photo in one of the books about. There was Matthew Brady, who was a famous photographer, and he went all over following the armies around and took all kinds of photos back then.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's amazing, and one of them is of that, the doorway, and it shows several soldiers in the doorway. But they don't know, because I don't know, that they don't really acknowledge, the archaeologists didn't really acknowledge it, but they dug a hole, and this has been going on since 1995. They got a camp there in the summer where the kids come, and I think they pay $350, $500 for a week of digging, and you don't get to keep anything.
Right.
but they keep expanding. They've expanded a couple areas, where they put probably five or six different pits in there.
Right.
And there's an old tree there that's probably at least 200 years old, I would say, and it's right next to where that main pit was, and you can go over there when they're digging and look down. You just see pottery everywhere and oyster
right.
shells and all kinds of stuff like that. But they wouldn't tell people what they found there.
Right.
And a couple things they have said, but basically they won't tell you, what they found.
Yeah.
And so I had three guys that I knew in the relic hunting club. They told me that they actually had put their children in there so they could find out what they were finding.
Oh, God.
And he goes, my daughter dug up a 3-cent piece, and I've never dug one.
See, metal detecting is addictive, and you'll use people to get it. No, I'm joking.
Well, another guy told me that he was there, and his son or daughter dug up a 3-ringer, so he was telling one of the volunteers, if you took a toothpick or a piece of stick, you could clean out the dirt, and there might be a star or
right.
writing inside. And so she had this frown on her face, and she rushed over and whispered to the archaeologist, and then came back and says, "You're one of those collectors."
Oh, jeez.
He just laughed.
One of those grave robbers, one of those looters.
That's what,
I hate
yeah,
that.
they have all kinds of derogatory terms.
Yeah.
When I first started metal detecting, my old principal, when I was in 7th grade, came walking by with her dog, and she looked over, and I was in my yard metal detecting. Mm-hmm. She goes, "You're one of those people." And I was like, "What?"
You know what I'm going to start saying, Craig? I'm going to start saying, "Damn right I am," and walk away. I don't have a problem being part of that crowd, doggone it.
I just laugh. I don't get mad. I just kind of laugh. I think, God, crazy hobby, but
yeah.
But it's funny out here in this area. It's kind of normal. Everybody knows about it. Everybody knows there's relics around. Mostly.
And everybody likes metal detecting, I think, in a way. They always ask about it.
They do, but there's also people that are sneaking around and stuff. And that's the way it goes.
Hey, it happened I found out.
I've never seen so many people, this quickly, metal detecting. Gotten to talk to them and stuff, but this area was, a mecca, for years. I mean,
right.
A lot of guys quit metal detecting because they just, places just aren't yielding anymore.
Yeah.
I found that bullet on that guy's property, and I can go back again. I'm going to go back again because I didn't hunt the whole thing yet.
Right.
But really thick woods. But he was totally shocked that I found a bullet.
Right.
So
right.
he goes, how deep was it? And I said, 10 or 11 inches deep. And he goes, that deep?
Yeah.
You can actually dig bullets that deep?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah.
Do it all the time. I think that's why I laugh, because Craig, for so long, I use White's detectors and everything, a lot of other detectors, but it became so common to dig a bullet at 12, 13, 14 inches that the way we talk about, about a foot and a half down, no problem, or 2 foot down, whatever you're digging, and people were like, oh my God, and for us it's normal. It's become normal for us to dig stuff that if there is something down there that deep, I know I'm going to find it. And then I go into use other detectors, and it's like, okay, I know that, it's got a depth of, an accurate depth on like a dime-sized target. If I dig a dime at 9 inches, 10 inches with another detector, okay, that's plenty good. It doesn't really bother me that much if I just come back through the Bliss tool afterwards, and I've already cleaned off a lot of the stuff off the top, or pretty much know, what's going on, and then you get these deep targets, and that's what that machine's designed to do. You can use it as a beginning machine for a clean site, but I like taking it to my hunted out spots. I'm just running out of hunted out spots, so I've been using it as my primary for the most part for, about a year now. But I did take out, like I have the Quest here. I just grabbed it and went. I actually meant to grab the Quest Pro, and I grabbed the Quest 40. And, that quarter was at least 10 inches down in there. And we're talking a field that, actually has cattle on it and stuff. But it hit it, no problem. I was seeing the VDI and stuff, and the depth, I hit the depth on that. It was pretty much within an inch of what it said. It was about, 10, 12 inches down, whatever, but it nailed it. So I can't complain. I'll take that all day long. Do I wish it was a seated Liberty or something like that? Heck yeah, but it was still silver, so heck, I'll take it. But it did a good job, and that's all you can ask for. If you need to go back to a site and hunt it, if it's been good already with that detector, take your next detector out there. You never know. You're going to find other stuff because obviously everybody misses stuff. I don't care how good you are. I've seen times where I've hunted an area so many times, never got anything out of it, and then one day relics are jumping out of the ground. I hit it the right direction with the right settings, with the right, everything was just, the stars were aligning, so to speak. But other people, get out there, and you can't get aggravated with it all. If you get aggravated with a site, move on to a different site, but don't give up on that site. Go back and with a better frame of mind, or go with your head, in your head saying, okay, I'm going to hunt 2 hours here, then I'm going to go to my regular spot. And just give it that time, because you'd be surprised if you just put the effort in. Sometimes you will get something really cool out of there. It's going to be harder to find, because that's why you found it, nobody else did. So being methodical and the way that you want to hunt these hunted out spots, you got to be methodical. You got to get in there and really just be trying some different stuff. If you're not getting something with your settings you got on there now, switch it up a little bit. If you're already not finding something, so you're not hurting yourself that way. You're going to help yourself by making some changes, I think. But Craig's, you're still finding stuff in your yard, but you're hunting a different way when you find it. You're just trying to be, changing things up. But yeah, we got to actually.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I tried new settings all the time, and sometimes I get a signal and I'll mess with the settings, and check it again.
Yeah.
But
nothing wrong with that.
I think just the learning curve. You can learn more and more with this machine.
Yeah.
There's days where I know I've been over that spot before, but I got different settings, and all of a sudden, bang, I'm getting this good signal.
Yeah, you got to try new stuff.
I'm not getting the interference either, since they put all those new power lines in.
Right.
That I used to get, so I can crank it up a lot more, but, especially on the threshold.
Yeah, I had weird time at the gun range today. I've always been a believer you're going to carry a gun, conceal carry, whatever you want. I've always chosen a revolver because they don't fail 99% of the time. You know, where you have some of these semi-automatics and stuff that jam up and stuff. And that's what I told my son-in-law when he was buying a gun. And he went out and bought a 40 cal. Well, at any rate, I took the 38. I have a 38 Smith Bodyguard hammerless, pistol. You know, it's like a snub nose. Took it out and fired it with bullets that my dad had given me, way back. And darnest thing, Craig, it doesn't have a hammer on it. You know, it's hammerless, but you pull the trigger and it's semi-automatic. But all of a sudden, I fired a couple of rounds through it, and then the cylinder it wouldn't fire. The trigger wouldn't even move. And I was sitting there looking at it. I said, well, I don't know. I opened up the cylinder, and I had 2 spent rounds, and then a third one. I pulled it out. I only fired twice, and the casing came out, and then gunpowder came out. What the heck is going on? The lead, or the bullet part of it, was in the cylinder, not the chamber, not in the barrel. That's where I thought it was, but it was in the cylinder. So that's weird. That must have been a bad bullet. So I of course took that out of there, and I put some more in, and it did it again. And it turns out I never knew this. They weren't sealed right where the lead goes into the actual casing where it's crimped. Apparently it was in there good enough you couldn't pull it out by hand, but it was the recoil off the handgun. When I'd fire it, fire another round, it was actually rattling the lead loose out of the casing, out of the bullet casing. And of course, it wasn't going to go off or anything because it never made the cylinder wouldn't turn. It was catching on the front side of the cylinder or whatever. I asked the guy inside. He said it's because of the recoil. I'd never heard that before, but it happened to me today. I've been firing revolvers and long Colt rounds and everything else, and the 38's always been a standby. Always, you only got 5 shots, but I mean it's always been a reliable handgun, especially Smith and Wesson. But it turned out to be the bullets. He told me to run full metal jack in there because the frame is so light, being a carry gun, that it would the vibration would actually just make the lead fall out of the damn bullet. I thought that was the strangest doggone thing, but it happened 4 times in a row. And I finally just set the gun aside. I said, I got to buy some new ammunition or whatever. The ammunition was like 2 years old. But that brand, I don't know what it was with it. But it was the strangest thing I've come across. I've never had a revolver fail like that. Well, it wasn't the revolver. It was just the ammunition. But I just haven't had that problem before. And I thought it'd be my luck if I ever had to pull the thing, which I hope I never have to, and get one shot off, and then you're stuck. You can't do nothing. It's like, oh, man, that wouldn't be a good thing. So I learned something new today about that. But I've never heard of that happening before. But with this, and it wasn't an off-brand ammunition either. I'm not going to give the name of it because I think it was just a bad batch or something. But just weird. They were shooting 40s and stuff, my daughter and my son-in-law. And, here I am telling them, oh, yeah, don't buy a semi-automatic. You can carry this gun anywhere, put it in your front pocket if you wanted to. And, it's not, you don't have to worry about it failing on you. It's going to fire. You're only going to get 5 rounds, but it's 5 good rounds. Well, they made a liar out of me today. Only thought I knew everything about that gun. Yeah, right. But you only know what you experience, and as you spend more time, just like metal detectors, the more time you spend with it, you can help out others because, you find out something new about it. That's why I like the Bliss tool so much. There's always something to figure out on that machine. There always will be. It's not one of those machines that's going to, you're going to get done figuring it out. You switch up some settings, and it just some of the changes are dramatic as far as the performance goes. And I'm starting to find that out with the Quest too. There's something about those Quest detectors. I like them. I don't know. I felt totally comfortable with it today. Light. I wasn't even worried about what I found or anything. I was just out there just making sure I was doing my job as far as having the settings right and stuff like that. It was a nice feeling. I hadn't felt that comfortable in the past with a newer detector because I always knew there was a learning curve to them. But it performed well. I mean, shoot, can't complain about it at all. By the way, I put those videos up, Craig, on, I guess Evan had them, I don't know, had the editor or something do the editing on them or fixing them up color-wise and all that stuff. And he seemed to really like them. So, hey, what the heck, man? You know, I'm glad he liked them, and I hope they're informative enough for people, at least to get people started on them. But I was pretty impressed with those, you know, with these detectors. Well, I still got them, but I mean, I'm doing some other videos with them. So I'll try to get some more information out. But yeah, he's pretty impressed with it. So I said, what the heck, man? Had fun doing it, so it makes it, you know, a good day at work. You know what I mean? Or a fun day at work, anyway.
Yeah. Well, it looks like a good detector. I've watched a few videos myself on it. And, looks good.
Yeah, it's unique, and it just does some of these things really good for what the level it is. You know, Quest Pro. I mean, I just haven't been able to get out lately. I should have grabbed it. I meant to grab it, but I didn't. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this new this updated program. And I've never even tried it because you've had a Deus for a while, Craig. But I know you don't have a PC, but you've got it done somehow or another. But it's nice to be able to do those updates when they come up with new.
Yeah, I don't have 4 point. Well, Mike's been using it, but it's going to need a battery pretty soon because it's only getting about 5 hours before it needs a charge. But
tell Mike he's been metal detecting too much. He's been using it too much.
You know, the battery. I've had the machine, over 5 years probably.
Yeah, and that's about right.
Probably
if you take
6.
care of it. Yeah,
I think it's been 6 years actually.
Yeah, I actually
now.
I got
the Bliss too. I mean, the Bliss, we got it in July of
2012, June of 2000. Yeah, June of 2012.
Yeah, so it's coming up on 6 years now.
Yeah, I still have the original battery in my V3. I did have to change the battery in the V2, which I don't know. I think I'm one of the few people that has one of those in this country. I haven't seen anybody else with one in recent history anyway. But they may be, buying these ones from over in the UK. I know that they were over in the UK pretty heavy, but the US, I don't know. I like it too, Craig. I mean, it's different than the V3. You got to have and it's really easy to work because I'm used to dealing with the other ones. The V5, V6, whatever. Going back, this one's like it's like it has a raw power, but it's not stabilized. So you're having to use your knowledge from the other detectors, the other models on this one. But yeah, this one was out in, I think it was 2010 or 2009 is when the V2s came out, and then they went to a V2i, and then the V3s, V4s, V5s, V6s, all the way up. But yeah, I like using it too. I just it's different. It's a different model, so it does do some different things. The tones and stuff aren't as, I don't know, there's not as much nuance, or not that I'm noticing, but it may be a different kind of nuance on typical items that I'm used to with the other detectors, like copper and brass and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit different because it doesn't have all the stabilization like the V6 does, and the adjustment room is different on it, so you have to kind of work it a different way. But yeah, I like it. I've actually, I grab that one once in a while just for something different. And I should make videos with that one too, I guess, Craig, because I know they're out there. I haven't seen too many in the U.S., but if you guys can get your hands on one, I'd say get it. Any of the Bliss tools, man. I do like them, but this Quest is doing very good for me, anyways. And it's not really that hard to work at all. I was surprised about that. The premise, I think it's the technology that you're using. These, like the Equinox and a lot of these brands are using these higher quality circuitry, I think, or they're lower cost. But I mean, it's better quality in the circuits they're using. I don't know how else to put it other than that, because they look the same. All these detectors kind of have the same style, it looks like, but the technology in them seems to be good. It's like the difference. You saw that at the Technetics and the F-75 from Fisher. Same look, same everything, but the inside the board or the program they're using or whatever is different in that the Technetics they do better. It may just be a frequency change. I don't know. I'm not sure if they ever came up with why, because they're supposed to be about identical, aren't they? Or whatever. They're pretty well close, anyways. I've had an F-75, and I don't know. It was all right. It was nothing, for me to write home about. But then I'm on a little different level too. What I expected out of it. With the Technetics, I know that. Well, Evan uses one. He does very well with it. Or didn't, in the past and everything. And he went on to the Deus and then the Bliss Tool, and now they're on the Equinox. And I'm not sure Evan, I think, is still using the Bliss Tool. I'm not positive, but it's nice to have these detectors, anyways, to have a few in your arsenal, just because you have different areas you hunt, but different situations for a different detector, So, it's nice to have a variety of them if you can, happen upon them. Just to have one or two or three detectors. I know Mike went out and I think he bought. Well, he has two Fisher Fisher CZ21s, and then he has a CZ20, I think. But he likes them for underwater hunting. He's always out there chest deep water. Then he has a Bliss Tool. Then he has a Deus, and probably a bunch more. But the ones he uses, those are primaries. And that's the way you do it too, Craig. I know you have the Deus and the Bliss Tools and stuff. So, it's nice to have that at your, if you can get one, just to have it in your arsenal so you can go to different situations, call for different detectors. So, got to go with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't used the Deus that much, but since last year I used it a bit, but Mike likes it a lot. He had the Nautilus, and I told him one day, why don't you try the Deus, and he's gotten really good at it. And,
that's a big change, though, really, when you think about it. Because the Nautilus is good and everything, but it's nowhere near where the Deus is. I don't think. I mean, I've never used a Nautilus, but Craig has, and I'll take his word for it. You're not
I did really good with a Nautilus, but if you get any kind of funny ground, it just, you don't even know that you're not getting any depth, because you just don't hear anything.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah,
but he went over spots. He got a keeper to a sword belt plate, a couple other things. And I was going over the same area with the Bliss and, just finding all kinds of stuff. And so one time I said, hey, you ought to try the Deus out, and I kind of set it up for him, and he found some stuff. And and then he started reading the book. He asked me, is there a book? And I said, yeah. And I'd never really read it much. I didn't program it the way he's doing it. He has this thing where they got all these different programs and a number for each one, and you can just click and it shows the, like Deus Fast, number 3 or whatever.
Right.
And it's different frequencies and a different setup for each one. There's about 20-some different programs you can put on there. I think the new one has got custom programs like Gary's deep program, hot and cold, and all kinds of stuff like that now. But,
I wonder how that Nautilus would work down here, Craig. I really do. Down here in Florida, there's no real mineralization, but I don't know if it ever worked down here.
People in like South Carolina swear by them.
Oh yeah, I'm sure the ground's really nice.
They got that, that really white sand, even in the dirt.
Yeah, it's like loamy, like almost in a way, but it's clean.
So, that's where the Nautilus shines, But I think there's a lot of people that exaggerate, and there's a guy that I know that said he dug a coin, he dug a $1 gold piece 14 inches deep.
Yeah.
And it was in this area that I went back the next weekend in that same area, about 5 feet from where he found it. He found a silver quarter, a Cedar Liberty quarter, and a gold piece. almost right next to each other.
That one
And
dog.
5 feet away, I found a halftime, a 3-cent piece, and a Flying Eagle set. With a Toltec 100
Right.
Tesoro with a 10.5-inch coil, and I got meter readings on all of them. So I I have a hard time. I never got that kind of depth when I used a Nautilus.
Well, every dog has
I
his day. That's what I say as far as that goes.
I dug, brass stuff and copper stuff really deep with that machine, but I couldn't I could almost dig a button deeper than a bullet almost.
Yeah, I don't know if whatever.
It was 'cause of
14
the
inches.
It was. Yeah, I mean, a $1 gold piece is tiny.
Yeah, I can't imagine him digging it at 14. But every dog has its day. I mean, sometimes I've had that 5.3 coil from White's, and I dug a V nickel at 15 inches down. Don't ask me how. I mean, there was the only thing in the hole. I checked the whole hole. That's what I was getting. But just that one time. Most of the time, those coils. I mean, you're lucky to get, I don't know, maybe 7 inches on a dime. I haven't done a test with those, but I mean, it's a shooter coil. It's what it is. It's a small coil, but I hit that, man. It was loud as day, but I never dug anything that deep before with it or after it. So I mean, I just think I got the right angle at the right time, or with the right soil conditions, moisture, and all that, and it hit it. That's about the only thing I can come up with, because a $1 gold piece is a low conductor to begin with. That's like digging a small pendant, really, or actually smaller than that, down.
I think it's just a number or two below a nickel.
Yeah, it's pretty small. I mean, I don't know, but it happens. I mean, I've seen guys dig some deep stuff, and it just that day, it was everything. The stars were aligned, and you were going to find something. But
I've dug stuff and checked it on with the bliss tool, and then I check it on the meter on the AS to see what it reads.
Right.
And I've gotten buttons and stuff that are reading like low 40s. Basically signals most people wouldn't dig if they saw a meter reading like that.
I think they got to be careful that we've talked about that before. These what you think are iron signals, but they sound a little too good. They're a little too repeatable. A detector only can detect so deep, depending on which one you have, and when it can't ID something, like we'll say a quarter at 15 inches, you may be getting a tweak on your detector, or it may be jumping, and it doesn't sound. You think it's iron, but it doesn't sound like iron. Dig those signals, because it very well could be something that's just out of reach of the detector depth, and the Whites do that. I mean, I had a Spectra V3, and I buried a 12-inch quarter. Now it was hitting it. I was getting a signal on it, but it was reading in a negative range, like it was a piece of iron. But it was so repeatable. I mean, that's kind of what threw my hands up in the air. So I don't go by meters anymore. I'm going to go by sound. And if you get we've seen it happen with you, Craig. You get that little tweak in there, and you get right in there and find something where everybody else walked by because they just didn't catch it. That may have been it too. He may have just caught it the right direction. It happens. It's a nice thing about it. It's a big surprise, and I bet you he dug those signals for the rest of the time he hunted with it, I'm sure. Those deep ones there. But yeah, I probably got to run the show probably to about 9:30, Craig. I got to get up at my son-in-law gets his diploma at like 8:30 in the morning in Orlando, and so we got to be there earlier than that. I'm super proud of him. He's doing a good job and everything, but I just know I'm gonna have to get off here. I'm gonna have to get some sleep, because that's a heck of a drive in the morning, even though it's through that traffic and everything you can imagine. So we're gonna get over there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I've been running on like maybe 3 or 4 hours of sleep at night. Just either I can't sleep, or I'm so doggone busy I can't shut down my brain long enough to sleep. My mind's reeling. Got like about 25 different things going on this week, and it was kind of crazy, but fun. Like I said, I'll take a fun day any day of the week. So usually it's a lot of bad news. It's nice to have good news once in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna. I guess he may be going to Minneapolis or Minnesota. I'm sorry, Minneapolis. It could be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's where the Best Buy corporate headquarters is or whatever, and I don't know, I guess he's got a pretty good shot of getting that job over there. It's, definitely a pay raise and everything, but I think it's more into his realm. He's a whiz kid with computers. Really, so is my daughter, and
they're going to be in for a shock when they see the cold up there.
oh, I know, but man, I told him, I keep on thinking about Gunner. Gunner. From a couple of years ago when he was up there metal detecting up there and the mosquitoes were after him and everything. He's wearing a mosquito net in the summertime just to keep them off his face. I'm like, oh, yeah.
I knew this guy from Guyana, and he was a really funny guy. And that he was telling me that when he was 17, he came to the United States and they put him in a house, I guess, in Minnesota with the family.
Right.
And I guess he was like a refugee at the time or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, he said he didn't know it got cold like that, because he's from Africa.
Right. Yeah,
never heard of snow. He said he cried every night. He said I was so cold I could not believe it.
Yeah.
So then they got this special coat. He said the coat weighed more than I did, but it kept me warm.
Yep.
So he said then after 3 years, he goes, I came to Virginia, and he goes, oh my God, this is more like home.
Yeah.
So he goes, and I said, well, it's funny that Civil War soldiers in their diaries the Union soldiers used to say that Virginia was like Africa in the summer and Siberia in the winter.
Right.
But I thought that was pretty funny. That every time I'd always tell people, I said, hey, Jim here, he's from Minnesota. And he goes, no, I'm not. And he'd start laughing.
Right. Well, even the kids, Kyle's been up in Virginia for two and a half years and hasn't been back down to Florida. Bethany's coming back and forth and everything, but not in the past year and a half. But they were dying down here just about. We were going to go to.
Yeah.
I decided to go to an indoor gun range because of it, because the heat and the humidity, the heat index up at 105, and he's like, man, I can't do this. And he used to work. I mean, of course, he lived with us for. Oh, hell, he's lived with us since he was 16, 17 years old, and pretty much not raised him from then on. So, he was used to the heat and everything, but he spent, the 2.5 years up there in Virginia, and he says, I don't know how I did it. He goes, man, I'm ready to pass out right now, and just, standing outside. I said, yeah, matter of fact, Craig, but the rear view mirror on your, cars and stuff like that are stuck to the windshield, that they glue them to the windshield. My damn pickup truck, I went and got in the truck, slammed the door, and my mirror fell right off. That's how hot it was in the car, or in my truck. I'm like, oh, crap. Now you got to try to glue the stupid thing back on. But, yeah, just that direct heat, just, I was putting the wiring in for those.
Well, I think it's the humidity and the heat combined.
It just bakes you. Yeah.
You go to California and you get heat stroke before you even feel bad.
Right.
Because it's so dry.
Right. Right.
You don't really feel. You don't sweat like you do. You're just pouring sweat. When you're in this kind of heat. Virginia's like that a lot too, but. Like today, it was pretty humid, but I'm sure Florida's a lot worse.
It's
water on every side of that place.
Well, like up north when it rains, you guys get the after it rains, it kind of cools down a little bit. If it rains during the day here, like say noon or something like that, by 3 o'clock, it's worse than it was before it started raining. It's just like a sauna. You just sweat and sweat and sweat. It's a good thing because I have a rule. If I go through 3 T-shirts in 4 hours, because they get stuck to you. These cotton, like a regular cotton T-shirt, it's just like you dunked it in water and put it on. It just sticks to you. I can't stand it. It's like, okay, I pull that shirt, I put another shirt on, One day I was out here working in the yard. I went through like 4 T-shirts in one day. It's the only way you can. I don't know. I usually just take a break in between or whatever, get something to drink, sit down, because it'll sneak up on you. I mean, I had it. Well, like I said, my neighbor flat out passed out on my front porch because it's more or less because of the heat. But he's from New Jersey, and he sat down with me, and we had a couple beers, just sitting there shooting the whatever, talking. And he stood up and he went down. He's a big guy too. He's like 6'3". And he goes, I'm all right. I know I'm not drunk. So I know you're not drunk. You only had a couple beers. And I said, I think you got, the heat got to you. And he sat there and lay down there on the porch floor for like 2 hours before he got his bearings again. I almost thought about calling. I knew what it was, so I just brought water out and washcloth and all that stuff, and said, man, you got to be careful because he'll get out there. He's worse than me in some ways because he bought a push mower. He only has like an eighth of an acre or something like that. It's a real small piece of property, but they just moved in and everything. He just bought his first lawnmower. I'd been mowing this property for him because it doesn't take me very long to do it at all. And he was out there Craig, I swear, just about all day because the grass was so high. He insisted that he wanted to do it for himself. And I think it probably would. It just took him all day. I mean, he was just beat. I haven't felt heat like this in a long time. I said, yeah, it's like southern Arizona, but without the humidity. You get that Arizona heat. I've been in Arizona when it's 110 degrees outside and it's so dry. The misters, they put misters like at outdoor dining and stuff like that. It just throws like a mist out of water. It actually, pretty much evaporates before it gets to you almost, but it's the only thing that cools you down. I don't know how those guys prospect for gold out there. I mean, they're out there in the desert and stuff, and you got to be real careful. I mean, they've done it for years, obviously, but if I went out there, it'd be a totally different kind of heat. I noticed that up in Indiana when I was hunting up there. I think it was July or August, and you just don't sweat. That's why it sneaks up on you. You get sweating down here a little bit. At least if there's some kind of a breeze, it cools you down. But I actually started buying, and thanks to my wife, we went to a store there, and she bought me some of these. I think she said they're called wicking T-shirts. They're real light. They're almost like a microfiber. And I tell you what, Craig.
What I got.
Oh, brother,
my tennis shirts are like that.
I'll tell you what. I'm buying all of these, buddy, because you know what? Number one, you can go out there and if you sweat, it's almost cool. You almost get cold, because the wind, if the wind blows a little bit. But I love them. I mean, I'll have to find out exactly the name and tell you guys about them. If you're out in the heat, these things are awesome. They make them a long sleeve too. A lot of our tree guys, the guys that climb the trees, top the trees and stuff like that, or any kind of outdoor kind of work like that, a lot of them wear the long sleeve ones, and they're light enough, but you think it'd be really hot, but they're not. They actually protect your arms and stuff. And
I got a couple of those, but I got Adidas, and it's called Dry Fit.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. It's real thin, but it's strong. But
I think it's like microfiber or something like that. It's
like nylon and something else mixed or something.
I
don't really know.
I'll get the name of it. And a lot of you probably know about these shirts, but I mean, I'm getting rid of all my cotton T-shirts. I can't. I mean, Craig, I literally, and Pauline was laughing. She came out on the porch. I said, I got to get another T-shirt. So I went and got one and took the other one off, and I just take them out and hang them on the porch railing because I don't want to, they're soaking wet. Well, I said, this is pretty bad when you can roll your T-shirt up and wring it out, and literally, it's like a washcloth that you put underneath the water, the faucet. I'm like, that's why you got to drink something. You got to drink water. I mean, I carry water with me everywhere, just about in my truck. I'll throw a little cooler in there with a couple bottles, just for that reason. I mean, you don't realize you start getting dehydrated, man. This stuff will kill you. I mean, there's probably plenty of people that die every year. I mean, if you don't know the warning signs or what your warning signs are, you start getting lightheaded. You start, even feeling kind of woozy a little bit. and you're out in that heat, man, stop. Just take a break. And there is no relic worth passing out on the ground in the middle of the woods or something. Usually it's out in the sun, but in a field or something. Just take a break. I hate to see anybody get there because it's not. Once you have this, you feel like crap the rest of the day. I mean, it just zaps your body pretty bad. It takes you several hours to get back right.
I used to play tennis in this, in that kind of weather, and I was pretty good. I didn't have a lot of problems, but I remember a couple times I had cramps. Like it was like waves going up and down my arms and legs.
Right.
It's just the most painful thing you ever felt. You could, especially like my calf muscles and stuff just started bunching up in a knot, and your vision starts, kind of getting funny.
Yep.
So you start. I remember one time I was so bad I sat there in my car for 45 minutes. I was afraid to drive.
Yeah,
so dizzy.
I've had a friend that was, we were working, while we were down at the ranch working, this has been years ago, but we were out there putting fence line in and stuff like that, just barbed wire fence and stuff, and got done and went back to the main house there. We just grabbed the dang water hose and just, spray your head off and stuff. You just cool down. It's better than sitting there boiling. Well, I didn't have any problem. I was a little bit heat, like heat exhaustion or whatever. Not real bad, but then again, we worked out there for like 12 hours a day. I mean, we were just working our asses off all the time. But he did it, just threw the water hose over him. He ended up passing out right there. The hot to the cold, it wasn't a good thing. You got to be careful with that too, cooling down too fast. It's it doesn't happen all the time. It's not like it's going to happen all the time, but you definitely, if you come down to Florida, vacationing or whatever, you're going to go deep sea fishing, or you're going to be on the beach all day, or whatever. Don't sit there and drink a 6-pack. I can pretty much tell you that you're going to have major problems.
Oh yeah.
It just add alcohol to it. Now I could sit there, but I'm used to it. I've been in this weather for over 25 years, But I can sit there and drink, a 6-pack, whatever, just sitting around BSing with everybody outside or whatever, not have a problem. But other people, man, I tell you, they have one beer or 2 beers, and that alcohol just makes it that much worse. They're overheating. So be real careful with alcohol.
You get dehydrated.
Right. Right.
When you're dehydrated, the alcohol affects you worse.
Oh yeah. I've seen many people go down really quick. It's just, and they think it's from the alcohol. Well, I'm not a lightweight. I drink beer all the time. I said, yeah, but you don't drink it down here. It's just like if I went back up north, I might have the same problem in the summertime. Because it's a little bit drier. Drier heat. Probably have the same problem. I don't know, but if it dehydrates you or causes dehydration and stuff, just be careful. We're in that season right now. Take a break. You'd rather hunt all day than to be down in 1 hour and sitting in an ambulance or something,
There was something today about in the news about New York City is going to be the hottest it's ever been or something, and I'm like, come on, it's summer.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
They get a
I go, give me a break.
Oh yeah, they get the heat. I mean, for 2-3 weeks or something. I think that's what I saw on one documentary or whatever. And yeah, it's hot. You got to be careful, and you're not used to it. And if you're not in air conditioning, a lot of people probably up there. I don't think we ever had. We were in Pennsylvania. I don't think we had an air conditioner. I mean, I don't think we ever really. It got hot, but I remember opening up the windows and putting a box fan in there when I was younger, but we didn't need it. But doggone Florida, you need air. Well, I can't say that either because Pauline was born and raised without air conditioning. But they had the type of house, more or less like a cracker-style house with the high ceilings and the windows and the ventilation. And it was designed to, because we have a sea breeze here, believe it or not, where I live at, and it would blow in. They built the house in order to catch that sea breeze to circulate the air inside the home. So, she grew up without air conditioning. I don't think they had an air conditioner up until, when we were together and we went up and we bought them one for the bedroom. so that her mom and dad would sit there and sweat to death. But they ended up turning it off because he got too cold. You get acclimated to the heat. Matter of fact, some of my friends, they from out of state or whatever, but they stay in the house all the time in the air conditioner. Well, your body gets used to that. When you go out in the heat, it's 10 times worse. If you work out in the heat and you're out there and you make yourself do it and get acclimated to it, you come in the house, you're actually turning the air conditioner off because it's actually cold to you. So you have to get your body used to it. But that's why some of the kids, they play video games all day long inside and everything, and then they go out and play, and they're just miserable. Because their body's used to the cool. So it works the same way with the heat. You get used to the heat. You don't have to worry about it. Because I can go outside and if I can just find some shade, metal detect under the trees, I'm usually pretty much okay. You get in that direct sunlight, it's going to mess with you a little bit. But, you just kind of pace yourself and stuff. But I'm probably going to have more of a problem with the doggone sun than anything else, because I'm getting to that age now, and all the times I never wore sunscreen when I was a kid, it wasn't even, I don't know, we did a lot of stuff that wasn't, by today's standards would be, what are you, an idiot? Well, no, we didn't know. We didn't, we didn't have that information, or we never really thought about it. Kind of like shooting guns without ear protection. I mean, we never, back in the early 80s and stuff, and mid-80s, I never even thought about it. My dad didn't either. We just fired, we went out skeet shooting or this and that. It didn't take too many times for us to figure out about skeet shooting, though. You definitely need a ear protection for that. We were both half deaf by the end of the day, but just normal target shooting and stuff. We never really thought about it. So, yeah, I guess the Ohio relic hunter, he was going to be here. He's going to be there in a bit. Now he caught the end. Yeah, we're probably going to wrap it up, guys, here in a few minutes, or I got to get an early start in the morning. So, Craig will probably wrap it up for tonight, and of course, do it again Saturday night. Maybe I'll have some find some relics this weekend, or anyways, and get some video. I'm hoping, or something. Just haven't taken the time to go over there. Well, I can't hunt that property without the owner being there, but you know what I'm saying. Find some good relics. I haven't had a real good day, for a while, so. But, if it's any indication, finding silver quarter, hey, what the heck, I'll take that. At least I'm on the right track. It's silver.
Yeah.
I want to find a large cent. That's what I want to find, because I've never found a large cent in Florida other than a Canadian large cent. But this place dates back far enough. I should be able to hopefully find one. Or maybe something Civil War, bullet or something like that, too, being the only place they cross the river. For 5 miles north or south, if they were even in the area coming through. So, man, who knows? Maybe I'll find a brick of gold or something, a gold ingot. There we go. Dream big.
or a Spanish saber.
Yeah, a Spanish saber. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Dream big. But anyways, guys.
A doubloon.
A doubloon, yeah. Shoot. But yeah, I'll probably wrap it up for tonight, Craig. Guys, thanks for listening in, and be sure to like and follow the show. And I'm probably just going to do open lines on Saturday, but you never know which way the path of this show is going to take anyway, so it's kind of fun to watch that happen. So, Craig, I'll talk to you probably tomorrow, and the rest of y'all, I'll talk to you on Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Get out there. Keep digging, and God bless.